Welcome to Discovery! Roll the intro, please. Welcome to another episode of Discovery. Yes, it was only yesterday that I released a stacked episode, and today we have another one. We're venturing into some progressive territory before diving into some trippy fucking black metal, exploring some interesting albums overall. It's another big episode today, so get your headphones on and jot down these bands that will certainly make question your end of year list. Before I start, share what you've discovered down below. And let's begin. To kick off Discovery, we have the Brazilian black and goth doom band A Dead Poem, who must be Rotting Christ fans. And they released their debut album Abstract Existence, released on December 13th through Personal Records. Take a listen. This is a pretty good album, I enjoyed it. One thing to note is the production. It sounds very thin. I don't know if they were trying to achieve that, but the drums sound weak and the bass drum resembles a pen like tapping on a table. That aside, it's a solid album. I particularly love the vocal style. The vocals are fantastic, reminiscent of guttural whispers in like the fucking candlelight. It's hard to explain, but his voice echoes all around you like in a cathedral with a blackened tone. There's also a gothic undertone, and the guitar work is very good. A lot of this reminded me of Catatonic for some reason, and even Typo Negative. It just has that ethereal atmosphere. You get some catchy guitar leads, making it a cohesive album. In Forgotten Dimensions is a great way to kick off the album, although I feel like the sort of melodies and even guitar riffs sound more like something out of Tonight's Decision by Catatonic, especially a song like For My Demons. So it is interesting. It's a great way to kick off the album, and that's when I realized the production has a sort of raw black metal quality. The guitars really shine on this song. Abstract Existence features some really good drumming, and I love the vocals on it. Obedience is another solid track, while Silent Tears Falls incorporates elements of slow doom along with a lot of gothic elements, including keyboards and blackened vocals that will send shivers down your spine. This is a good album, and I have no problem scoring it around 65%. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would have liked the production, specifically the drums, to be a bit more punchier, a bit more meat on the bone. They sound like they're being played in another room down a corridor sometimes. So yeah, this album gets a score of 65%. Are you ready to embark on a cosmic trance? Mesarthim, an Australian black metal band, released a new album, Anthropic Bias Depature, on December 13th through Avant-Garde Music. This is another stellar entry in the black metal galaxy for the year, as Mesarthim continues to experiment with their sound. The only issue is that I'm not entirely sure I want to journey back to their previous albums. However, this album takes you on a thrilling voyage from start to finish. The album features 2 expansive tracks, starting with Anthropic Bias, which opens with an intro that startled me into another dimension. First, you're enveloped in lovely, airy synths, and then all of a sudden the blink of an eye, the black and harrowing screams pierce through this atmosphere. There are many captivating elements here. It's primarily atmospheric black metal with synths weaving throughout, but by the conclusion you're treating it to like fucking electronic beats that transport you to a cosmic nightclub swirling in the starlight. The next track, Depature, is rich with orchestral elements intermingled with those harsh, blackened vocals. It features some beautiful piano work and an epic conclusion filled with transitions that will take you through the cosmos. The guitar riffs are quite good, and at times they sound surprisingly bright for black metal, bordering on post-black metal vibes. Overall, it's a solid effort from Mesarthim, but it's not necessarily one of the best. In truth, it feels a bit forgettable in the grand expanse of the universe. However, the electronic elements and synths create a dreamy atmosphere in Depature, making you feel like you're floating on a fucking cloud among the stars. I'm giving this album around 70%. It's still a very good record, but I would have liked a bit more cosmic depth. Now we head over to the US, where we find the progressive death metal band Misanthropy, who have unleashed their brutal album, The Ever-Crushing Weight of Stagnance, on December 13th through Transcending Obscurity Records. Take a listen at this chaos. This album is undeniably heavy, with production that emphasizes the crushing weight of the sound. The fantastic guitar work showcases soaring solos and impressive technical finesse, creating an intricate tapestry of sound. The guttural and monstrous vocals exhibit a dynamic range, particularly noticeable in tracks like Descent, where the vocals experiments with depth, with tonal variations that add depth to the performance. The album encompasses everything you would desire from a progressive death metal release. Elements of technical prowess, insane drumming, blistering guitar riffs, and a healthy dose of fucking groove. The opening track of Sulking and the Rapfall features a midsection that showcases an infectious groove perfectly contrasting the chaotic nature of the surrounding sections. Indeed, this album thrives on chaos, but it's chaos executed with precision and intent. It's one of their heaviest albums of the year, and I have no doubt about it. The fast, high-octane, progressive, technical death metal album embodies controlled chaos. Every track is meticulously constructed, filled with all the glitz and glamour you would expect from a release of this caliber. There are frenetic sections that will leave you breathless, as well as more measured passages where you can really groove along. Sepulchre is another standout track, and I just love the passages coupled with the groove-laden riffs. I particularly enjoy the eerie, clean vocals in this track, contrasting Kevin Kowalski's vicious delivery, which seamlessly transitions from high blackened shrieks to monstrous gutturals. The album is rife with rapid transitions, odd time signatures, and dissonant sections that work together seamlessly, leading into rhythmic passages. In my opinion, Cure for the Pestilence boasts the best guitar solo off the fucking album, showcasing great technical prowess and emotional depth. The album is menacing, yet chaotic and beautiful at the same time, especially with the melodies that are sprinkled throughout. I'm going to give this a score around 75% for now. I've only listened to it a few times, and while I find it solid, I tend to prefer a more subtle approach to progressive death metal, similar to what bands like Ancient and Opeth offer. Overall, it's a really good fucking album with amazing musicianship, so a 75% rating feels fair. Okay, you know I love my DSBM, and when a band called Winds of Tragedy released their new album, Death Wash Over Me, I was instantly hooked. This album dropped on December 13th through the ironically named Tragedy Productions. Take a listen. Death Wash Over Me is a heartbreaking black metal album that is overflowing with emotion, enveloped in a dark atmosphere. You can practically smell that noose through your headphones. The weight of despair hangs in the air like a thick fog. The vocals are fucking sinister, belting out raw emotion as if they are delivering a final farewell. It's clear that Sergio Catalan, the mastermind behind Winds of a Tragedy, has experienced profound heartache and depression throughout his life. You feel the palpable frustration resonating within the music. The melodies are hauntingly beautiful, like a siren's call luring you deep into a stormy sea of sorrow. The vocals are harrowing, striking you in the face with like a blackened shrieks that echo in your mind long after the music has stopped. If I were to draw a comparison, I would liken this sound to that of it sounds very similar to like something out of Make a Change, Kill Yourself, and that's a fucking compliment. The album's chord progressions are masterfully created, with guitars spilling out emotion like a broken fucking dam, flooding the listener with feelings of anguish. Blood Will Wash All That's Left of Me is a particularly heavy track featuring blast beats, frantic tremolo picking, and manic vocals to create a sense of chaos and desperation. The interlude at the beginning sets a mood of impending doom, enveloping you in themes of self-destruction and contemplation. The album continues to draw you in with the same potent ingredients throughout the subsequent tracks. The frantic screams for help in I Built My House to Suffer are so goddamn intense that they compel you to stop everything and stare into the fucking abyss. They stare into your war, question your very existence. This moment is a reminiscent of the terrifying vocals found in like Silencer, capturing the essence of despair in a way that is both haunting and captivating. Yes, the vocals at times sound like something out of Silencer. The final track, Giving Up on Life, is a standout. It starts slowly drawing you in with a haunting fucking melody that leaves you pondering what will happen next. Suddenly, a barrage of sound crashes through your speakers, engulfing you in a tidal wave of emotion as you wrestle with the decision of whether to live or die. The vocals in this track are particularly painful and tormenting, evoking a sense of struggle. This album, Death Wash Over Me, is a fantastic album from start to finish. To me, it stands out as one of the best DSBM albums of the year. I'm scoring it an 80%. It encompasses everything I desire in DSBM. However, I must note that the vocals can sometimes be a bit overwhelming, which might be a bit much for some listeners. Still, the emotional depth grows on you, and 80% feels fair for this remarkable work. Go check it out. Next up, we head to Spain with the progressive metal band, oh yes, after Lapse and the sophomore album Pathways, released December 13th through Frontier Records. This has been my most played album of the weekend. I've been jamming to it non-stop. I love it from start to finish. While I don't think it's truly great, I still enjoy it immensely. The melodies are fantastic, and although the vocals are a bit rushed, they somehow work. The vocalist has a great voice, especially in the song Dust to Dust, where he showcases impressive high fucking falsettos. The album features catchy songs, fantastic solos, odd time signatures, and just plain fun progressive metal. I really had a blast with this one, but after discovering incredible progressive metal over the years, this album holds only a flicker in comparison to the likes of Dream Theater, Threshold, and Fate's Warning. However, I do appreciate the laid electronic elements throughout the album, which gives it a modern feel. The guitar work is awesome, especially in Thanks But No Thanks with that fucking funky vibe. I love the trumpets and the heavy breakdowns throughout the song. It's such a standout. The Head Shadow People is the track that initially hooked me. Wake up! The guitars and vocals are fantastic. Walking by the Wire is another brilliant song featuring emotional vocals and impressive songwriting. Then there's Turn Into Light, which is a beautiful fucking power ballad. It's sonically stunning. One of my favorite songs of the year. I find myself in a bit of a dilemma. I've been playing this album so much, and it's so much fun, yet it feels somewhat simple, not as complex as other prog metal bands out there. Regardless, it's great. And I'm scoring it around 75% for now. The more I listen to it, the more I love it. Now we fly over to Belgium. Belgium. I haven't mentioned that country in a while. Here we find the band Magic Kingdom, which released their 6th studio album Blaze of Rage on December 13th through Massacre Records. Okay, so this is a good record, but it doesn't quite reach the enthralling heights of Asterize, which I reviewed last week. Asterize managed to harness progressive power metal perfectly, like a skilled painter who knows just how to blend colours to create such a masterpiece. Magic Kingdom has a knack for songwriting, epic orchestration, and tight musicianship, but for me this album feels more like a well-constructed house of cards than a solid fucking fortress. I can appreciate the musical arrangements and catchy choruses, but as the album drags on, it risks collapsing under its own weight. At around 65 minutes, Blaze of Rage is a lengthy listen, and while there's much to explore, it sometimes feels like you're wandering through an overgrown garden where the weeds threaten to choke the vibrant flowers. It's undeniably theatrical, with fantastic solos, especially in songs like Fallen for the Kingdom. I guess this album might grow on me, but I can only see myself returning to it if I'm extremely fucking bored, I'm reaching for a dusty book on an overcrowded shelf. Perhaps I'll revisit Fallen from the Kingdom, because that song is a gem amidst of the sea of mediocrity. The album showcases a lot of progressive elements, and I really like the vocals, but overall, it feels bloated. Believe it or not, there are some unexpected growls, particularly in the first song, The Great Rebellion. When those growls kick in, it's like a bolt of lightning in a clear sky, surprising and refreshing. Don't get me wrong, it's a good album, but it doesn't rise to fucking greatness. There's certainly There are certainly better power metal albums out there than Blaze of Rage. One would expect an epic finale, but instead we are left with an acoustic-based song, Lonely in the Universe. I suppose Fallen for the Kingdom was meant to be the epic, but it feels like the climax of a movie that ends abruptly, leaving you wanting more. This is my first encounter with Magic Kingdom, and despite my critiques, I still found enjoyment in the album. The guitars were fantastic. The orchestration was grand, the drumming was spectacular, and the production was clear and polished like a well-crafted fucking diamond. That being said, I'm scoring this album around, harsh, 60%. I know some people will score it higher, but there were times when the album felt tediously fucking long, marred by repetition that brought it down. The Great Retribution serves as a revival for the album, showcasing heavier sound complemented by harsher vocals. So I think a 60% is what Magic Kingdom's new album earns from me. Are you ready to get your balls crushed? Look no further than the German death doom sludge band Coldspine and their album Nullpunkt, released December 13th through Violence in the Veins. Whew, take a listen. This album is heavy, and I mean really heavy. It's all thanks to the sludgy, down-tuned guitars that highlight the filthy atmospheric production. This is just 45 minutes of slow headbanging. The vocals are fucking monstrous, they enhance the songs tremendously. There's a nice groove throughout the album, which while repetitious showcase simple songwriting done right. Each track immerses you in a horrifying world as if the weight of the world is crushing your shoulders while you weave in and out of the grooves. In comparison, the vocals are raw and angry, yet they also have a melodic tone that complements the groove-laden sludgy guitars. The drums are solid and very clean, but I would have preferred a murkier sound to better support the album's overall grimy production. That being said, if they had achieved that murkiness, the album might not have been as effective. Every song is really good, featuring fantastic grooves, good pacing, and a blend of slow, death, doom, and sludge throughout. The opening track, Torture Rack, draws you into a world of Coldspine with its assault of groove fucking laden guitars. Among Serpetus continues the onslaught with its sludgy notes and slow, angry, harsh vocals. To the Ground is another hard-hitting song. I love the drumming and the weighty guitars, along with some very nice fucking guitar licks. While listening, I noticed a few punk and post-metal elements, especially in Misery Routine. This song is particularly interesting as it transitions from post-metal to punk, then into like fucking Breakdown City, and finally into death metal and death doom. It's a standout track, one of my favorites, and odd, the song has one of my favorite riffs off the album. It's so damn tasty. This is Coldspine's debut album, and I was truly impressed with it. If you like bands like Summoning the Leech, you'll probably enjoy this because it's a banger, no doubt about it. Sit down, light up, have a vape, and prepare to spend 45 minutes slowly banging your head along with these grooves. With that being said, yes, there's a lot of stoner doom on this as well. Did I forget to mention that? Holy shit. The sound of it, very stonery. With that being said, I might score this around 70%. It's a solid album from start to finish, and I really enjoyed the chugging fucking riffs, monstrous vocals, and fantastic guitar grooves. Check it out. Gnawing Void, a US black and death metal band, released a debut album, The Spiraling Decline, independently on December 14th. Take a listen. This album is a remarkable journey that I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish. While it is rooted in black and death metal, predominantly leans towards the black metal side of the spectrum, creating a rich tapestry of sound that is both haunting and fucking powerful. The vocals are a fierce blend of black and death metal growls, and at times the guitars lean heavily into the death metal territory, adding layers of intensity to the tracks. The grooves present in several songs enhances the overall atmosphere, allowing you to become enveloped in the heavy soundscape the band has crafted. One of the standout features that initially drew me to this album was its striking cover art. Mysterious and cosmic, it perfectly like fucking encapsulates the essence of the music within. Dark and blackened. Tracks like an endless verse exemplify the album's heavy aesthetic, showcasing a black and death touch that resonates deeply. The weight of this song hits hard with a relentless drive that keeps you engaged. Malignant Presence follows suit, drawing you in with its sharp, blackened guitars and monstrous vocals that felt almost otherworldly. Perdition is another fantastic offering, infused with progressive elements that add depth to its heaviness. The atmosphere in Artificial Promised Land is particularly striking. The heaviness here is palpable. Oh, with thunderous drumming that evokes the ferocity of bands like Balfagor. This track exemplifies how heavy this album can get, as it spirals into a dense, immense, immersive experience that leaves you breathless. Born by Filth slows the tempo, but it remains a heavy track demonstrating the band's ability to maintain intensity even in a more subdued arrangement. The final song is a relentless onslaught, akin to a bus colliding into a building, an unforgiving conclusion that leaves a lasting impression. Overall, The Spiraling Decline is a solid debut album that showcases Gnawing Void's potential. The cosmic atmosphere that envelops the album, combined with robotic voices in the intros, enhances the listening experience, pulling you deeper into their world. It's a sci-fi black and death album that stands out in a crowded genre. That being said, I would score this album around 65%. While it is good, it doesn't quite reach greatness. The production is decent but has room for improvement. I would have preferred the drums to have a bit more fucking punch. Nevertheless, this is a commendable release for Gnawing Void and a promising start to the journey in the metal scene. And now, our main event for this episode of Discovery is the Swedish band Mörk Gryning and their 7th studio album Fasornas, released on December 13th through Season of Mist. Take a listen. I must admit, I was grinning when I heard Mörk Gryning. Okay, that's just fucking terrible. I'll stop right there. In all fairness, this is a very good album from the Swedish black metal band. Running at around 44 minutes, I was thoroughly entertained until the final note. The production is crisp, which some purists might argue and render it as false metal, false black metal, but I don't give a damn. It's genuinely enjoyable. The album exudes an aura of malevolence, and Drak Chimera's vocals are as vicious as a wolf's howl on a moonlit night. There are also some nice clean vocals that lend an epic quality to the overall sound. Speaking of sound, it's unmistakably black metal. An arrangement of blast beats, tremolo picking, and blackened vocals. That's all you really need to fucking know. I have a soft spot for Swedish black metal. Bands like Armageddon exemplify what I love about the genre. Mörk Gryning stands alongside them as another fantastic Swedish outfit, delivering an onslaught of modern black metal that is as polished as a pristine mirror. Yes, the production is clean and doesn't have that raw edge many fans crave, but the music itself is thunderous and heavy. The drums are punchy, and the lead guitars toe the line between black metal and heavy metal, creating a delightful hybrid. The guitar solo in Before the Crows Have the Feast is mouth-watering, simply a terrific song that leaves you salivating for more. While there aren't many clean vocals, I say it's about 20% clean to 80% black and shrieks. The latter are executed flawlessly. The album still sounds unmistakably like fucking black metal, even with the cleaner production. Everything retains an organic feel. The guitars sound full and rich within the mix, giving you a very good album from start to finish. The Seer is another standout track, featuring thunderous blast beats that hit you like a freight train. An ancient ancestor of the autumn moon slows things down beautifully, showcasing melodic elements that contrast the ferocity of the other tracks. The way Chimera screams the title of this song is mesmerizing. Yes, the phlegm that builds up adds a visceral layer to his delivery that grabs your attention. Tracks like Desvata and The Serpent's Kiss are heavy and hard-hitting, contributing to the album's relentless energy. Overall, Fasornas Tid is a very good album. It is one of the best black metal albums of the year. Definitely not, but it was certainly a fun and evil listen. I'm contemplating scoring this around 75%. The more I listen to it, the more I find myself wanting to score it higher. It will likely make it onto my end of month list. Mörk Gryning continues to release fantastic albums throughout the career, and Fasornas Tid is no exception. That's it for Discovery. Hope you guys did enjoy. That's it for the double header. 2 episodes of Discovery this weekend. We're having a little break. We'll be releasing a video in a couple more days. Don't know yet, and then we'll move on to week 3 of Discovery in December. So let me know in the comments below your favorite discoveries. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion? Keep discussion going in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.